in section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga, woof. I'm an 88 pack nigga, woof. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood, tryna stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. I see the family in the building, man. I want to get to this work, bro. I'm excited about this show, bro. Because I got questions, bro. I got questions. Because I'm still, you know, I'm like, what's happening? I still need a little bit of clarity, man. A little bit of clarity. So we just gonna have a think tank, man, and to kind of brainstorm to what's going on. I had to bring the fam, Jay Stills, the odd fella, in. We had a conversation last night, and the brother said a lot of interesting things. And being that I'm not clear 100% on what's happening, I want to hear what everybody have to say, because I tell y'all all the time, I don't know everything. So I'm open to listen to everybody's opinion. I want to know what's going on. Jay Steele's in the building. What's good, brother?
What it do, what you saying, what it born. It's your favorite, get your most hated odd fella. Back for the first time, you know, dig, with Drew Titan. Salute. You know what I mean? And first and foremost, Drew, let me make my formal and public apology. Last time I graced your platform, I came with 2 guns up and shit like that, and I was wilding a little bit, you know what I mean? So let me start off with a public apology for, you know what I mean, for those actions. It was a misstep. So, you know what I mean? I apologize for that. And I appreciate you extending the invitation, you know what I mean? Hearing out, I'm known in part of the clique, the Usual Suspect 6. I'm known for being the mad scientist, the one that cooks up different little boxing conspiracy theories and whatnot. So I'm glad that you was able to lend me your ear for you to hear some of my theories, so to speak. And now we at the genesis of the show right here. What are they really up to, Drew?
I don't know, man. First and foremost, apology accepted. I got an older brother. You know how many times that nigga done punched me in my face? so I'm good, bro. I'm good. You be like, shut up, boom, bust my lip and everything. So I'm good, bro. We square, man. So let's get to it, bro. What are they up to, bro? Because I'm not sure anymore. I don't know. What are they up? If anything, what are they up to? What they're reckoning when that happened. It seemed like the card came out of nowhere. It was like we were chilling one day and then boom, a supercar. We was like, huh? Oh, that's great. And we were like, all right, man, that's great. Okay, it's a supercar. So we were like, all right. And we were amped. It was a stacked card. And it was fun to watch. You know, we on this end, we didn't get the turnout we didn't get the result that we wanted with Deontay and stuff. And, you know, he took accountability for that. Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering, you know, the things that I learned about what happened with AJ, you know, about him saying, all right, you know, he was going to retire until D lost. Now he's full steam ahead. That's another conversation. But I'm trying to figure out exactly what Saudi's trying to do, because I'm kind of like confused, because there's so many different directions that they can go. First question, Marco, salute, good brother. First question, do you think they're trying to get rid of the sanctioning bodies? Because we got 4. Do you think they're trying to get rid of them?
That's a good question. That's definitely a good question. And from what I seen at the last press conference, the Day of Reckoning press conference, it looks as such. Because His Excellency presented, he said, put this up on the screen. And what they pulled up the Undisputed Belt. Now, if you look closer into the screen, you would see that they had all the specifications, all the dynamics of what this Undisputed Belt is, the type of material, the type of leather, the type of metals that are the type of gemstones that are on the thing, and all that. So they had like the whole plan set in front. But I'm thinking, hold up, what does this mean? Are they trying to get rid of all these 4 sanctioning bodies when the heavyweights go for this belt? Does this delete the Ring magazine or the so-called lineal belt and replace that? Because we all know Ring magazine has ran or hijacked the lineal ship.
Yeah.
And this could be a solution for that, in a sense, at least at the heavyweight division. But this is, to me, a huge power play. You know what I mean? A huge bomb that's been somewhat unnoticed, that's been dropped on the boxing world by saying, yo, this belt, this Undisputed Belt that we're presenting, you know what I mean, in front of all the world, this is about to be legitimized. We see what the WBC been doing. We go down a couple divisions to the light heavyweight division. For years, we was blaming those fighters for not coming, not putting the fight together.
Right.
And we see what really is the fly in the ointment is the WBC trying to play politics with the Ukrainian Russian occupation type shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Withholding Bivol from that to no, we ain't gonna sanction Bivol. He can't fight for our title because he hasn't renounced his Russian citizenship enough for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Saudis don't. The Saudis ain't about that. They just, you can run it over. You can run it right here.
Yeah.
We put the money up. You know what I mean? We'll invest in that because we want to make boxing great again. But they got their ulterior motives, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later. But
yeah,
I'll land the plane on that. I see the brother Marco pulled up. You know what I mean? I know you got something to cook on as well.
No doubt, Marco. What's good brother, man? How you feel?
What is popping? How you guys doing?
Chilling, baby. Yo, we're cooking on what are the Saudis really up to? And I'm not saying, it's a bad thing. I'm not saying, when I say what are they up to, I don't want to mislead the audience. I don't want to say that like not to be trusted. I'm really in Art Houses. I see you morning, brother. I'm asking the question, are their intentions pure in boxing? Are they here for a long time or just a good time? Because, these guys got a lot of bread. Are they here just, I got bread, I'm bored, I just want to play with this thing and get what I want and bounce? Because if that's the case, they could just run the numbers up, get what they want, and when they're done with it in the next 2 to 5 years, Turk is saying he's smashing the gas on all this because his health is bad. That kind of made me nervous Because I'm like, man, is he gonna throw money at everything? And then when he's done getting what he wants, he's like, all right, well, I'm good, and then pull out. Because then if that's the case, the sanction of boxing is still gonna be around. So your thoughts on that so far?
It might be a case of Prince Hakeem sowing his royal oats. You know what I mean? And then when he's done sowing his royal oats, then maybe he'll move on and go from Queens to somewhere else and find some other woman or whatever. You don't know what he's up to. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a long play. I doubt. But we don't know what kind of person he is. I like what he's doing so far because it's making fights that we would have not gotten otherwise, and it's removing the A side, B side crap that we've been dealing with, the egos we've been dealing with, because everybody's getting all the money. So nobody now could be like, well, I'm worth this and I'm worth that, and I'm A side. That's all gone. So that's a good thing. But then you have certain fighters, like Tank, for example, was like, he didn't seem too keen on going there. I know it was only one comment he made about his 2 Maseratis, whatever it was that he said, but whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And he could have just been kidding. We talked about this, but
yeah.
I think it's a great thing. In a way, it's temporarily creating an association of boxing.
You have. He said he's sowing his falafel.
Oh shit! His royal falafel. In a way, we have like the union that we've been talking about, sort of. We have venues taken care of, we have accommodations, we have everything's taken care of under one brand. And people seem like they want to be on Turkey Al Sheikh's good side, and they want everything to kind of go smoothly, and they care. So that's good. He seems respected. I don't know much about him. I don't really follow politics or whatever. I don't know what kind of dude he is, but seems good.
To me, I don't like to overlook things. I like to look at things as simple as I can at first, and then listen to people's opinion about what it could be, because everybody, all of this makes sense because we don't know what the hell's going on. Because like I said, these guys came out of nowhere. Well, to us it seems like out of nowhere, but I know that but Deontay was going over there for the last couple of years.
But was it, brothers? But was it? Let me interject. Give some more possible theories of why the Saudis might be here for a longer time than anticipated. We take it back damn near, we can take it back a century when boxing was at its pinnacle. And one thing we know about the heavyweight champion of the world, it was always looked upon as being the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah.
And countries rallied behind, or not even just countries, the world rallied behind pretty much the baddest man on the planet. You would have different, whether bars, saloons, pubs, would have the picture of the heavyweight champion at the current time worldwide. You know what I mean? Because that's how big it is. Economies get boosted in different countries and cities when the heavyweight championship is fought there. You feel me? Now let's look into more modern history. Shit, I even use Devin Haney as an example. We've seen the Australian government fully subsidize 2 fights, Drew.
Yeah, man.
2 fights to get over there to fight Cambosis. Why? Because it boosts the economy. It puts eyes out on a global perspective, because boxing is not just the American dominated sport. It's a global sport that everybody can relate to and is attracted to. You know what I mean? I remember you showed me that list. I think Blue Blood put out about how boxing ain't even on the list. Most attracted sports in the U.S. and I think football's up at the top. But guess what?
Yeah.
Football's only popular in North America.
Correct.
Got a league. America got a league, but I don't know no other league across overseas or nothing like that. Africa don't got no league, American Football League. Australia has a version of football that's more like rugby, but the world ain't watching football like that, like we are over here.
Right.
Boxing, on the other hand, is global.
Yeah.
And you can get more investors, more attraction. And with the Saudis now to sum this up, what the Saudis, I think, are trying to do, and why they're here for a longer time than anticipated, is that they realize boxing, we can hold these boxing events and kind of change the global perception of Saudi Arabia. You think 10 years back, what did we think about the Saudi Arabians? Just they just people that, you know what I mean, they got a lot of oil in abundance, and they got strict rules, strictly Muslim laws, and what, like, yo, them brothers over there got a fashion police.
Yeah. The ideology behind them wasn't really good. Like when we got the news, we didn't know. You know what I mean?
So for a lot of people that perceive them in that way, it's not good for tourism. It's not good for the economy. They're trying to slowly and now rapidly change that up. You see all the huge projects, ridiculous projects that are going on in the Saudi. They got an endless stream of money.
Yeah.
That line project, I was thinking 100-kilometer line, a multi-layered city that they building in the middle of the desert, right? On some experimental kind of conceptual type shit. They got money to throw away to change the perception of Saudi, because they trying to be a world superpower. So yes, these are the reasons, my theory of why the Saudis gonna be here for a longer time than we think.
Bro, I gotta agree, bro. I gotta agree. They got their pockets is deep enough that they could play with it, man. You know, boxing is just a small thing that it's possible. I don't want to put no coat on them, no bad coat. This is just a conversation, y'all. But boxing, them getting involved in a sport like boxing, being that there's a lot of ethnicities that is involved in boxing, and you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, all ethnicities around the world can rally behind a fighter that they can identify with, white, black, Latino, anybody, right? This is part of their way of reintroducing themselves to the world, right? And changing the minds of the world of what the world thought that they were. Because it wasn't until recently that, and just like Jay Steele said, you know, we just thought they were enclosed. We thought they were fucking Wakanda. You know, the borders were shut off. You have to be very exclusive to get there, and all the women are dressed like ninjas. You can't even see their face; you just see their eyes, and you know, you can't even sneeze wrong, or they'll cut your head off or whatever. We thought they were no different from the terrorists. I mean, thanks to American media. I mean, come on, bro. I told y'all how ignorant. When I say pardon my American ignorance, I mean that. When I was growing up, I thought everyone Asian was Chinese, and they all knew karate. They all had delayed speech, and I thought Samoans was made up. I didn't know they were real people. I grew up watching wrestling, for Christ's sakes. I didn't know this. So when I say pardon my American ignorance, this is shit. This is how I grew up. You know, you get a little older, you're like, oh, okay, this is a real place or whatever, you know. Oh, and everybody Latin was Puerto Rican. I grew up in New York. You know, I didn't know what a Venezuelan was. I didn't know. You know what I mean? So I think them getting involved in boxing, the Saudis, it's a two-part thing. What they're doing is they're reintroducing themselves to the world. They've opened up their borders. They let people in. They've made their place beautiful. And the thing is, it probably was beautiful the whole time. When you think Saudi, growing up, if you said Saudi to me, I'm thinking the Middle East, and it was like a damn bomb shelter. It's like, huh? What the fuck? When you say African, you think of people living in huts. I'm dead serious. So pardon my American ignorance. I mean, we was told some shit growing up. Christopher Columbus discovered America. It's crazy. So the Saudis have reintroduced themselves to the world. One of the things that they're doing is that they've gotten involved in boxing, and they see the small discrepancies. For instance, Bivol and Beterbiev, we've been screaming about that. They should have had an undisputed matchup like 4 years ago or something like that. They've come in and said, you know what? How about this? Since Mauricio Silly Man don't want to put up his belt, no problem. Come down here. Everyone will get paid. And whoever wins, they're going to get this nice, shiny belt with plutonium and gold and platinum and uranium and adamantium. And we're going to put it around this guy's waist. And although he won't be undisputed, one guy fought, they fought, one guy won, and y'all know what time it is. And the real supporters will undermine all of that stuff. They'll undermine all of that stuff. And we'll deal with it. But how long do you think, if you were to make a guesstimate, do you think the Saudis are around for maybe a decade? Are they in and out, or are they just going to be here? Are they going to right the wrongs? Like, when we don't get undisputed, are they going to right the wrongs? Is Saudi going to come in and say, Canelo, look, man, I know you do the Cinco de Mayo thing, but we also know you like money. If we give you X amount of millions, will you just fight David Benavidez? Will you stop what you're doing for this amount of bag? And when you fight David Benavidez, could the Saudis be those kind of people? Only
they might offer it, but I don't think Canelo. I don't think he gets down like that. I don't think that's in his cards to fight Benavidez. That's a fight we all want to see, and that's the most competitive fight for him at 68. But I don't think it's going to happen. The Saudis, you don't know, because like they're losing money on this, right? And I don't know if that matters to them, but it might at some point. And they're losing money almost by choice. They're having 2 different venues for the same event. You saw that, like the first half of the cards on one venue, then they have the main events. I don't know if you guys cop that, but that's what they were doing. The second half of the events have been in a different venue across town or wherever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've done that twice already. 2 different venues.
What?
Undercard. Yeah. That's expensive.
So if I paid to go, that means I'd have to run across the street. If
we have to understand, expense ain't really nothing to them right now.
Exactly. But at some point, like all businessmen or people, maybe it will be.
We have to understand, too, there's not the same type of red tape when it comes to construction and building of these elaborate facilities.
Oh, yeah, they could do what they want. They just do it.
Right.
They just
my point is,
same.
What if they care about financial gain at some point soon?
I mean, every businessman, when they invest in something, they expect a return on investment at some point. So are they just dumping money in this with just carefree? That's what I wanted to know. Is the Turk just playing with it? Like, yo, this is my allowance money. You know, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly, because there's no way that we don't know what they're getting from the networks. Like, so they're not making money off the, like, I know enough about venues, and they're not making money off the actual event, the gate and all that. That's not happening. But the television money is how most of them make their real, income, is how they break even, how they profit. So maybe
we can't look at it as having the return, brothers. The return investment is changing the global perception of Saudi Arabia.
Correct.
Right. That's a good point.
Riyadh season,
yes.
And it's not just boxing they invest in it. I seen Art Hostage in the chat mention some of the soccer players. They got a lot of huge soccer stars that have transferred to the Saudi Arabian league. You know what I mean? It's playing out there.
Shit.
I think they've tried to invest. I'm not sure if it's the Saudi Arabians or the United Arab Emirates that tried to invest in a major golf league. Live or LIV or whatever. I don't know, but all that's being they're they're grabbing more than boxing. You know what I mean? They're getting all the biggest entertainers out there to perform music wise as well. So they're trying to change the perception of the whole country. You got all these boxers out there going. Every last one of them said, "Yo, I love it out here. They got this and they got that," and that comes back to us, and then we get interested and we want to spend money out there, or possibly businessmen want to invest, or you know what I mean, set up shop out there too. You know what I mean, making Saudi Arabia more globally
Well, that's a
attractive.
good point. Yeah, that's a good
That's
point.
a damn good point. You know what Tay told me? When I spoke to Tay, Tay said, yo, they had a whole concert next door. When they landed, there was a whole concert. I forgot who he said was on the card. There was all the it was an R&B, hip hop and R&B thing going on when they got there.
Word.
In this whole thing, I was like, sheesh, man, I didn't even know that.
Sounds good.
I didn't even know that, man. Yo, D-Free, let me know if you're available. You can pull up. BP, I told you send me send me your email, bro. Yeah,
It's
these
good though,
guys
man.
these guys could get us what we want. Well, for the most part, and
We're
get us
getting
what we want.
undisputed heavyweight. That's happening already.
Yeah, okay. That's why I wanted to go. Okay. Cause Jay put me on the game yesterday, and I kind of lost sleep. I said, "Wait a minute, yo, wait a minute, man. You know, yo, Jay, take the wheel, bro. Cause you said some shit last night. I said, yo, hold on a minute.
What happened? What happened? What happened?
Go ahead.
So we gotta love what the Saudis been doing per se. You know what I mean? But when all this stuff was rolling out, one thing I do is I take note of the symbolism. And before the Day of Reckoning, another fight rolled out kind of out of nowhere, and that was Tyson Fury versus Ngannou.
Mm-hmm.
That fight came out of nowhere, and whether you like it or not, it was a big fight. You know what I mean? There was dramatics in that, but ultimately dramatics in that fight, and resulted in a new star in addition to the heavyweight division. Albeit both of those combatants are non-American. I looked at the trailer, the long trailer to that fight, and one thing I noticed, that the theme of that trailer was both of them combatants, Ngannou and Fury. They kind of like training and crushing everything. Everything's kind of breaking apart. The only shot that they had in America was Hollywood crumbling. I said, okay.
Hold on. Here we go. Fair use. This is what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, this was dope.
Right there.
Yo, that commercial was dope. I remember that.
Right there.
Indeed. It was.
What's happening right here?
You see the crumbling. You see the crumbling of Hollywood.
See that?
I didn't catch that.
Center of American entertainment.
Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time.
The center, I didn't either. The center of American entertainment. Do you know how these people are symbolic, bro? I say that all the time. I miss that. Because you know why? Because I hate Fury and I didn't like the fight. So I really didn't watch it until Jay brought it up. I said, holy shit. Right over my head, man. Damn.
So boom, they do that. Then out of the blue, just before Christmas, we get a gift in the Day of Reckoning. What's the symbolization behind the Day of Reckoning, Drew? You know what I mean? Because what we saw is that there was a Day of Reckoning for American heavyweight boxing.
Talk to him, bro. Talk to him.
We had a plethora of heavyweights on that card. Not only heavyweights, we've seen the best cruiserweight
Yep.
in the world, and we've seen one of the best light heavyweights in the world. So this day of reckoning is the exposure to the upper classes of American heavyweight boxing, because we're not represented in the light heavyweights. We're not represented in the cruiserweights. And the two heavyweights that were represented on the card both took L's. Egregiously. The day of reckoning. Now, when I look past that and I say, when Deontay Wilder decides to retire, Jarrell Big Baby Miller, he ain't no factor.
Nope.
Who's behind those brothers to pull up the American heavyweight scene and capture Undisputed? Because brothers, let's be real, the heavyweight boxing scene is being dominated over there in Europe. You see the ratings. You got a bunch of British guys up in there. They running the shit right now. But who's behind? And I want to question the chat. Can you give me two names from light heavyweight all the way up to heavyweight? Two American names that can possibly be a threat, because we all know back in the day a light heavyweight could move up. We've seen that. We've seen the Michael Moores.
Yeah.
Then he'd be able to transition. You gotta look at those brothers too, because they transition and get heavier in weight and able to compete too. So, but can y'all give me two names from 175 to heavyweight in the American boxing landscape that's going to be a threat for that Saudi Undisputed? Because it's hard, bro. It's hard for me.
I ain't even gonna say Jared Anderson. I do not trust that kid with his teddy bears and security blankets. Fuck that. No. I can't.
Heavyweights, American heavyweight?
American heavyweights. I never thought of this, bro.
175 all the way up.
I never thought of this, Marco, because we just look at boxing. Right. I never put emphasis on who's the next up out of in America. I never thought of that.
Jay,
I never
where
thought
you
of
from, by the way?
I'm Canadian, bro.
Canadian? Okay. Yeah, I pick up on like accents, and you were real ambiguous. So I was like, where's he from? And a lot of times with Canadians, like they sound like Americans, but you can't pick what part of America they're from. That's dope. Yeah, so
I can't name one.
Jared Anderson has to be considered. I mean,
to do what?
Okay,
I agree. He's a dim light right now.
You got to consider him.
Physically, he has all the tools, all the finesse, the technique. It's just mentally, we don't like what we're seeing right now, what he's saying. And for me, I'm just hoping he grows out of it, because he is still kind of a young motherfucker say stupid things sometimes. You know what
Very
I mean?
young. Yep.
He's a grown adolescent, and I don't trust.
There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure people don't realize, especially because he was being branded as like the next American heavyweight, and he's only, was he 24?
But he's the same age as Devin Haney, and there's a big difference in mentality with those two men, because they're men. They're men.
Maybe Bill Haney's the big difference.
Yeah, right. Devin gets out the ring and hangs out with his dad and a bunch of men. This motherfucker wins, get out the ring and cries on his mother's bosom. I can't trust a dude like that. What the fuck, bro? And look, I'm not saying he's a bad kid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, bro, come on, man. I don't trust that kid. When Charles Martin started turning it up on him and started going upside his head, he was on the back foot and he looked confused. I said,
Yeah, that
if
was
Charles had a full camp, he'd have beat the shit out of him. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they told Charles, all right, now, don't fuck up the bag. We getting you a payday, but don't go in there and do what you do.
Yeah, he did not look good in that
I
fight.
think Charles would have fucked him up. Let me read what the sensei said to me. It's lengthy. That's why he didn't want to put it in the chat. He said the answer is no. The Saudis will not be around for the long haul. They do not have the experience and knowledge of the sport of boxing, though it is a business. There will be no monopoly for the sport by outsiders because they can deliver a bag. Think in terms of record labels in the music industry. Also, the powers that be will unite like Voltron to do away with them exercising their corrupt. You know, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking, well, shit, he got a point. Yeah, corrupt. Their positions are compromised. Yeah, okay. God damn,
I don't necessarily agree with that, Drew.
Go ahead.
And here's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't have the experience per se, but like they're doing with their construction, their and the labor and the building of the infrastructure, they're outsourcing. A lot of those workers ain't from Saudi. You know what I mean? They're from foreign lands, just like they doing with this with the boxing infrastructure. Who they got right
so
now?
you're saying that
Matchroom, they've been able to unify two opposing they was ops for the longest time. Frank Warren and the Herd.
When we were talking, didn't I say just last night? I said, you know, it was strange because when they announced their reckoning, the first thing I said when I looked at the cars, like, how are these people working together? And when I was on the gram, I saw a selfie with Eddie Hearn and Deontay, and I was like, what the fuck? Is the world ending? Is this it? This is it? Is this it? When the event is over, is a bomb gonna drop? Is a meteor gonna hit? Do they know some shit we don't know? Because this was confusing, bro. Bro. It was like when you first saw Street Fighter versus Tekken. It was like, what? This is impossible to my nerds. Y'all know what I just said. I know what I just said. Yo, I was like literally like, what the fuck? How is this? How's it? But it happened. It happened. It's like, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very confusing. And it makes you wonder what's next. They got a bag, and I know what you're saying. They might not have the know-how. They got the bag to hire the help. So when you say they're outsourcing the help, I understand. They might not be able to get compromised because they got a deep enough bag to keep shit off of them. You understand? They might not be able to compete. Like, they might not have the brains to compete with the top ranks and the matchrooms and everything else. But we just saw everybody from everywhere say, all right, well, these guys got a bag. We got to work together to get this. Matter of fact, Jai Opataya, he sacrificed the belt to be on that card. He didn't give a shit. He said, yo, and I don't know what his bag was, but he said, I got to go get this.
And Drew, he's about to be re-rewarded because his next fight is supposed to be for that very same belt that they stripped him for.
See? You see? This is deeper than just on the outside looking in. This is deeper, man. So it was a great investment for him because he's getting it right back. He's getting it right back. And that kid has a future. Now, as far as the to put emphasis on the heavyweight division, as it stands right now, Deontay was our last hope. And you saw what the industry did to him. No, you saw what they did to him. So they're hosting this undisputed matchup. The Saudis are hosting this undisputed matchup. I'm gonna start with you, Marco. Does this benefit them? Do by them hosting the undisputed matchup? Does that strengthen their legitimacy in the sport of boxing right now? Would it make it better? Or well, I'll just stop right there. What does that mean for them? Does that make them more legitimate that they're hosting the undisputed matchup? Does that make them more legitimate, like power players, or is it just like whatever? They just still here and they may disappear tomorrow.
I mean, how could it not, right? Because they're hosting the most coveted championship at one point in all of sports history. Being heavyweight champion of the world at one point was the highest honor anybody in sports could get. It was the most popular sport in the world up until probably the 80s or 90s maybe.
Right.
So yeah, man, doing that is dope, but he seems to be a boxing fan. Turkey Al Sheikh. So it's definitely
You think he respects the game enough to like, okay, I want to be in it, and I want to be in it for the rest of my life?
I don't know about that. I don't know if he's gonna, like I said, he could just be sowing his royal oats for now, and then he'll move on. We don't know what's in his, or maybe he is just trying to increase the economy and the popularity of Saudi, and then once, because boxing's dirty and it's expensive, and like I think he's losing money on this.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Let's say he starts losing money, and he says, "All right, I done dunked my allowance into this shit or whatever I have, and I done dumped it like 500 mil, and I only got 300 mil on return. I think I'm done with it." Do you think once everyone runs over there, which is what people keep, every fighter says, "Oh, I love it here, I love it here, I love it here." Once they go over there, will the product of boxing be tainted? And will the powers that be that are in charge, I like to say, like, that's been, I don't want to say in charge, I want to say it's been around, Matchroom, Top Rank, now the PBC, who hasn't been around as long, but they're major players. Do you think that those guys will sit down and unite and say, you know what, these Saudis are ruining business for us. We like prolonging these fights. We like prolonging these fights and making these people fight online and curse each other out and threaten each other's lives and all that ignorant shit. That's better business for us. We like making the audience wait for 3 years for a fight that we could get done in 2 seconds. These Saudis are fucking it up for everybody. So I think it'll be a better move to do something to fuck them off. Do you think it's a situation like that where they'll just unite just to get the Saudis out of business by some way, shape, or form? You think they'll possibly do that?
Wait, who would unite?
Matchroom, Top Rank, PBC. Nah. And they'll see the Saudis as a common enemy and say, we got to get these motherfuckers out of business somehow. You think that's possible?
Those motherfuckers are never uniting.
No,
Ever.
Here's why. That's a big if when the money starts to dry up. See those type of separations and divisions. But looking at it from the Matchroom Queensberry point of view, they're getting paid beaucoup of dollars to be involved in this. You know what I mean? That's why we've seen the Cold War absolutely end with the Saudis being the diplomats, bringing them together. One benefit to that whole situation is that the UK is always there. Let's be real. Let's keep it real. The UK, they invented the Queensberry rules with regards to boxing.
Mm-hmm.
How boxing is fought today, it's based off of the Queensberry rules, which emanated in the UK. We all know that for years now, for centuries, that America has dominated this sport. And the UK, you know what I mean, probably a little bit salty about that. Still, within the boxing DNA, you know what I mean? And got UK's been building their boxing scene not only from the ground up with regards to, you see the amateur, they got Team GB, and they're producing a nice rate of world class opposition and whatnot. We've seen over the years we're being we see more UK boxing. Way back in the day, we never used to see UK boxers at all. You know what I mean? Now, as North American boxing viewers, we see more UK presentations. We see more fighters come overseas and back and forth. You know what I mean? They were trying to make a play for getting boxing back, them being the Mecca. They tired of having to stay up till probably 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to watch the biggest boxing events over here in America. You got to remember the 5-hour time difference. With them hosting, now teaming up with the Saudis, they on the same timeline, the same time zone. If not an hour or 2 hours difference. So it's beneficial for them to continue to making that money, because it's easier to sell a pay-per-view in Europe when you're in the same time zone. You ain't asking these folks for pay-per-view and they got to stay up till 7 o'clock in the morning to watch that shit. Remember, this shit's a global sport.
Yeah. I've spoken to many people in the UK that in the 90s, when we had the luxury over here watching fights at 8 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, they up at 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? It was inconvenient, but because they love the sport like that, you know, they will just stay up. The brother Art Hostage says, only level that could happen is political government with threat of sanctions against Saudi or annoy them with bad publicity, like a smear campaign. But something will have to be crazy for them to like smear them. They'd have to do something crazy, and right now people are loving them. My brother D Free in the building. How you feel, good brother?
What's going on? Salute to everybody on the panel.
Yes, sir.
Man, the Saudis, I don't have a problem with these fighters getting the money that the Saudis is giving out. The only problem I have with the Saudis is for the guys that's not a big draw. They go over there and they get a bag, and then when they come back to the States and we try to get them a fight, now they feel like they entitled to a big bag. But in all actuality, they're not a draw like that. So it's going to cause confusion when you're trying to make these fights. Like, let's say, use for instance, Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. The Saudis say, you know what, we want to get this fight on. Right. Okay, they pay each one of them $10-15 million for the fight. Shakur Stevenson never made $10-15 million for a fight. So now when he comes back and we try to get a fight with Tank Davis and they sitting at the table, he's like, hey, I need $15 million to fight Tank Davis. When he's not a draw like that. That's the only issue I have with the Saudis, with them throwing the money out there like that, because they're not doing it to everybody. They're only doing it to the stars, and they might get a fight that the fans want to see happen, but that other fighter is not a big draw like that. So now when he comes back to the States, he's looking to make a big bag because he made it with the Saudis.
So you're saying that the Saudis could spoil these fighters It can spoil them.
Right.
Let me give y'all another term because this is very interesting. I know a lot of y'all watch wrestling. Don't front, y'all do. All right. I haven't watched it in a while, but listen. In the 90s, there was something called the Monday Night Wars between WCW and the WWF. And I'm just gonna give you the short version. Ted Turner gave WCW a bag. And he gave it to Eric Bischoff, and he said, "Go out and get me the best talent, and we're gonna flood my airwaves because he owned networks. We're gonna flood my airwaves with the product. You just have to get the talent." And what Eric Bischoff did was he took that money and he threw that fuck around, and he got the best stars from everywhere. He was collapsing little independent promotions because he was taking their biggest stars. And a lot of the guys from the WWF jumped ship in the middle of their contract. So what you making here? Vince is paying you that much? We'll buy out that contract, come work with us. And he brought all the talent over there to WCW. And everybody got spoiled. But what happened was Vince stayed the course. He said, all right, you got our old stars. I'm going to create new stars. Some guys been in the industry for over 20 years already, but I'm going to create a new era. And that's what he did. So what happened was WCW at one point, they had quantity and they had a bag, but they didn't have the quality that the WWF had. And I'm saving the Monday Night Wars for Bear Cave Entertainment, but just to let y'all know, this is similar. Right now, the Saudis remind me of Ted Turner. They're coming in with a bag and everybody's happy. But what happens if the quality isn't the same? Okay, there's a few fights that we want to see. Right now, we want to see Tank and Devin or Shakur and Devin or somebody. We want to see an undisputed matchup. We're about to get, at 175, we're about to get undisputed at heavyweight. What's next? What happens? Because I'm going to tell you what happened to WCW. It folded. There is no WCW now. And all of those guys, they end up going back to the WWF. They end up going back. So that's what I'm saying. If Saudi is just here for the short run, the four sanctioning bodies are still going to be there. And this is my concern. That's what I'm saying. What's going on here? Because I'm not sure, y'all. I'm just open to all suggestions. That's why me and our fellow was talking. I said, holy shit. There's a lot of things that I may have missed. You know what I'm saying?
We can't say it is a temporary boost, and then they're here for the short haul. We still got to take that in stride and be and thankful for it, because we got to still look at the nuances. Yeah, they may be giving these star fighters a little bit more than what they can get back home, but we got to look at it in the sense too that does this boost the overall boxing economy? Because it's not like they're throwing these bags just to star fighters to fight bum fighters that aren't deserving. They're trying to get the biggest fights, 1 versus 2 matchups in the stratosphere. They're trying to make that happen, make it manifest. You feel me? So we're getting those type of fights. Those type of fights are what the casual fan gravitate to.
Right.
So in essence, that results in the boxing economy rising, because the more people that are watching the bigger fights, the more casual fans, that will slowly trickle down and residue to the non-boxing stars, the guys, the blue collar fighters and whatnot. You know what I mean? We'll start to see maybe more boxing shows on Thursdays and Fridays, more other type of network deals for smaller level scale boxing fights. That's what it could do residually, but that's a good point too as well. You know what I mean? It could fatten up these stars and not do nothing for the sport. But
Okay.
Let me detail some of the other nuances the Saudis are bringing, because we can't just be looking at, once again, we have this kind of perception of what the Saudis are. And what this one Saudi is, His Excellency, he's a major boxing fan. When a man says his favorite fighters is Larry Holmes and Roberto Duran, you know he knows something a little something about the sport.
Right.
Let me say a quote from one of my favorite shows, House of the Dragons. Right? They say, history don't remember the blood, they remember the names. History don't remember the blood, it remembers the name. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And what the Saudis recognize, His Excellency recognizes that names are remembered. You're talking about this card from the inception of this program, the Day of Reckoning. That whole fight card has a name to it that we can attach to it. You go back, Day of Reckoning. Oh yeah, that's when Deontay Wilder fought Joseph Parker, AJ was on that shit, all those heavy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're seeing a purpose and attaching the name to boxing to make it more memorable, increasing the notoriety of the sport in that way. We see the elaborate type of presentation the Saudis are performing. Look at that commercial for Ngannou and Fury. Excellent.
Yeah.
Day of Reckoning with the Night of the Living Dead theme. Excellent. We see Joshua versus Ngannou now. They're going to use a video game type concept. Excellent. Right. Not to mention, His Excellency is in early developments of bringing back a boxing video game. Who else can really invest in funding that with the endless stream? This man says, yo, when you look behind me, there's a huge mountain that you can't see to the top to. The prince and his king. I don't think he bullshitting. I don't think he capping. So when you look at the nuances, like a video, we go back. Let's circle back to that list that Bluebird put out, where boxing is not relevant at the top attractions. One of those reasons is where the boxing game at. Our generation, we grew up playing boxing games. One of the first boxing games I played was Evander Holyfield Boxing on Sega Genesis.
That was my shit.
Okay,
that was my shit. Yeah.
Then the best evolution from that, I would say, was the Fight Nights from EA Sports on the PSs. Okay,
I still play that today. And no one wants no smoke with me on that game. I'm nice.
Remember Knockout Kings?
Oh yeah,
beautiful. Knockout Kings as well was a great brand, a great those residuals attract casual fans into the sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Guys that don't know nothing about boxing play these games, and now they know some of these names, that real names that are in the game, that are in the sport. We don't have that no more. When you hear His Excellency over there in Saudi talk about that, yeah, we in line to get these video games back. You know what I mean? We need to box a video game. Yo, that's something I want to hear.
I'm out. Wait a minute. Am I getting challenged in Fight Night in the chat, nigga? Okay. Tournament coming soon. Okay. I'm gonna have to smoke niggas out, man. That's my shit, bro. Okay. I'm gonna work something out, bro. I'm gonna work something out, man.
I used to get frustrated playing boxing games because I would lose, and in the ring, I'm losing to people who couldn't beat me in real life, and it would just frustrate the shit out of me.
Yeah, man. No,
I my son asked me about that. He was like, Dad, why they don't make boxing games no more? I was like, I really don't know. I said, because when I was coming up, my first boxing game was Mike Tyson Punch Out. That was my first boxing
That
game.
was a dope game.
Yeah, I played that and all of the other boxing games, but I don't know why they stopped making boxing games. I don't know if it was the EA Sports say, hey, it's more money in basketball and football and golf.
Listen,
and they say we're not
Boxing's declining in popularity. Slowly,
that last fight night they did was the best fucking game ever. That story mode was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That story mode was incredible. Yo, I still play that game. And when you get to the end and you fight Isaac Frost, you can't let that man touch you for the first 3 rounds. Because he's dropping you, bro. But the storyline, they had ESPN analysts on Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas call the punches. I said, man, this game is like ridiculously good. The storyline was great. He beat your brother's ass and he got locked up for like 3 or 4 years. It was crazy. It was crazy.
For the new one that ever come out, because they keep pushing the date back. And it's like, I played the little demo that they got on the computer. The game it looked realistic as it possibly can look, but they keep pushing the date back. So my son keeps saying, Dad, when is it coming out? When is it coming out? I don't know. I don't know when it's coming out.
Our fella's correct though, because it's games like that. A young kid will play it and say, "Yo, these guys are real," and that game will make them do the research and say, "Oh shit, I love boxing." A video game could do that, so I agree with our fella 100.
So let me segue. So you got the video games, and then Drew, you just mentioned another thing that should be noted: storylines.
Yeah.
The Saudis are giving you, His Excellency particularly is giving you storylines. The Day of Reckoning card, the first, what he do? He unveiled the Undisputed Belt.
Yeah.
Once again, giving you that storyline. Yeah, it's going down. Usyk versus Fury. Not only that, he said, "Yo, in the end, the Joshua Fury, the Joshua Ngannou fight press conference, we gonna potentially have the winner of this fight up against Undisputed." And matter of fact, I think the Undisputed Belt was unveiled during the Joshua Ngannou press conference, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So they're presenting you storylines. They're presenting you instant storylines with, we can't forget, because this is going under the radar too. Once again, going back to the ops, Matchroom versus Queensberry. Not only are they working together, His Excellency said, "Yo, I want y'all to do a 5-on-5.
Mm-hmm.
Five of your best Matchroom fighters versus 5 of your best Queensberry fighters." They sat up there on that stage and shook hands immediately and said, "Done."
See that?
And said, "Done." Okay, we got those 2 wrapped up. We can't forget Bob Arum's in bed over there working with them as well. So he's a part of the play. Why the PBC outside looking in? Because we got all these suspicions about the Saudis, but we should be having more suspicions on the PBC. Mm-hmm. They've been on vacation for how long, bro? How long? We ain't getting nothing till what, March the 30th, or when they coming back with that PBC special, Zoo versus Thurman. You know what I mean? They've been doing nothing for this. God. They've been in hibernation. I call these motherfuckers the not premier boxing champions, pop-up boxing champions.
Pop up.
Yo, they pop up to your city, you know what I mean? and then close up shop, and you don't see them again until you know what I mean. They'll let you know when they come. These niggas got no storyline, no motherfucking schedule, nothing. They got two faces of boxing, Drew. In Tank Davis and Canelo, they got the #1 pound for pound motherfucking champion in Terrence Bud Crawford, frozen in time, my nigga.
Could you please?
Frozen in time. Where the dates? Where the dates? And we
Oh my God!
Saudis, dog. Come on, dog.
Come on, man. Y'all hear this, right? But we're Hamanites. We're LDBCers. Where the fights at, man? What are we gonna do? What's happening on Cinco de Mayo with Canelo? What's going on? Can we get? And there's no shade to anybody. We just asking questions because we're the consumer, right? What's Bud doing next? Is it going to be Errol? Is it going to be Boots? Is it going to be Canelo? What's happening? What's going on? What's going on? We don't have no dates. We're the consumer. We're looking to buy. What's going on? Okay, I already have Prime. You want me to pay some more money? For what though? What am I buying? What am I buying? What's David Benavidez doing next? What's happening? What? Enter Saudi. Got bag? Come get it. Because the flip side to that is Errol was also on the shelf for a fucking year. Deontay was on the shelf for a fucking year. And I'll be damned, Bud can't afford to be on the shelf for a year. He's almost 40 years old. Let's not. If Errol ain't ready to rock and roll, please, Bud, do something else. It's okay. I'm cool with it. Because the PBC, the good part is they found money, and these fighters are very happy with their return after being in the ring. But the problem is they don't return to the ring. They don't return. Fighting once a year and you 21, I ain't with that shit, man. Now, I don't think boxing is popular enough in the States where they can oversaturate the market because we don't love it like that. But they can give us a goddamn card every 2 months, though. Come on, guys. You can do that. You don't have to beat me in the head every day. We don't love fight. I miss Friday night fights.
Tuesday night fights. Friday night fights.
I miss that. But that's just us. Our era is done. There's not fans like that. They don't love it like how we love it.
See, that should be the time where we putting on the prospects. We should be putting the prospects on Friday night fights.
I agree.
Having to put them on these big cards and fill up your cards.
I agree, but what's it worth to the network?
Real talk.
What's it worth to the? I agree. I love that shit. But what's it worth to the networks? If the networks ain't making money off watching the prospect, and the prospects be the dopest fights. Those be the best fights. But if it's not worth it to the networks, they ain't gonna put them on. They were talking about getting rid of boxing in the Olympics due to corruption. And then Mauricio Sillyman says, I'm going to help it. I'm like, this nigga is this franchise creating clenbuterol okaying motherfucker is gonna save Olympic boxing? Are you kidding me? That's what it is? And I haven't heard anything about it since. So I'm just wondering. I would love to see boxing on regular TV every weekend or every other week. But as supporters, will it make do the networks see value in it? Tuesday night fights was around for I don't know how long. Friday night fights was around for I don't know how long. Galavision used to have a Friday night a boxing show. It was totally in Spanish, and I watched it. Was it Galavision or Telemundo? It was one of those. They had a Friday night boxing show. I used to watch it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You remember that, right? Yeah, I used to watch it. I used to between that and ESPN. I used to watch it.
You're all Spanish, but you don't really need to speak the language to watch the fight.
Yeah, you just watch the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Ricardo Juarez. This is when I first saw him. You remember Rocky Juarez?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember him. Hey, that's when I first saw him. I said, "Oh shit, he speaks English." You know what I'm saying? But do we love boxing like that? I don't know. But enter the Saudis, and are they doing a good thing? For now, I'm gonna say yeah, and I hope they do shake shit up. But I don't think they got all the money in the world. What'd you say?
I think they're gonna bring us the undisputed light heavyweight title too.
I think so. But they don't have enough money in the world to get Canelo in the ring against David Benavidez. That's not happening.
Yeah, it's not about money for Canelo. He's put in his work in his mind. I'm assuming. I'm not in the dude's head, but he's put in his work. He's put in everything he's done, and now he's at that late stage in his career where he's just choosing fights that either make financial sense, that build his legacy, or that just maybe just wants a little bit easier. Like, look, when Floyd at the end of his career fought Berto and Conor McGregor, I didn't criticize him. I'm like, Floyd fought everybody and their mother. He can do that now. And Canelo seems like that's the mind frame he's in now.
Yeah. But at least Floyd fought Canelo, because Floyd was old by community standards when he fought Canelo.
36, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Like, Canelo, we got to remember, Canelo's still only 33.
I know,
Man,
but
he got a lot of years on that 33. Yeah, he got a lot of years.
He's old, he's from pro 15.
We can't give him that pass. If he wants to be an exhibition fighter, then come up off of those belts, man.
Come up off the belts.
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's my whole point.
Is criminal.
That's my whole point. Like, I don't mind Canelo at this point in his career doing whatever he want to do, but when he got those belts, you got to fight those guys. If you want to do whatever you want to do, then you need to drop those belts and let those guys who's in position to fight for those belts fight for the belts.
Well, why don't we come down on the sanctioning bodies, because they're the ones letting him keep the belt?
Because he's marketable. They're getting a return on the investment as long as he hold that belt.
That's why I keep saying the belts don't matter to me. And I've been saying this for about a year now. The belts, and it shouldn't matter to the fans neither. The belts don't matter to the fans. What matters to the fans are the fights. The belts only matter to the fighters. We don't get to take the belts home. We don't get to see the belts after that fight is over with. We want to see the fight. We saw Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia do 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. There was no belt on the line. We didn't see a belt come to that ring.
That's right.
So the belts don't matter to the fans. The belts matter to the fighters. And everybody keeps saying, oh, well, he's the champ. I don't care about who the champion is. If the best fight is two guys who's not the champion, that's the fight that I want to see. When what's his name? The guy that Bud fought for Undisputed at 140.
Ndongo.
When Ndongo was champion, who was calling for Ndongo? Nobody was calling for Ndongo. They only wanted to see that fight because Bud was going for Undisputed. They didn't care about him. They wanted to see him because he was fighting for Undisputed. Once Ndongo lost those belts, nobody kept up with Ndongo's career. We kept up with Bud's career, not Ndongo's.
Yeah, he vanished.
That's why I'm like, I don't care about the belts. I want to see the big fights. If you want to be champion and you want to be able to, you want to stay champion, then you got to fight these mandatories that you got. That's the only obligation that a champion has. That's the only obligation they got, is to fight their mandatories. They don't have to fight nobody else but mandatories.
Sidebar, y'all. Anybody know the numbers on Day Reckoning?
No.
No rumors about anything?
On team. You know what I mean? And them things don't get released, Drew. We know that.
Nah. Yeah, man.
You got some insight?
I have no clue. I could make some shit up. I'll make a ghost Twitter account, make some shit up just to get people talking and cursing me out. I could do that. That's easy. But I don't know. And no one asked. Ain't that odd? No one asked. I was waiting for Rick Glass to say, "Oh, it was a foul pay-per-view. #boxing." He didn't say anything. That's right, BF, because the Zone don't release no motherfucking numbers. So I don't know. We'll know. I'll never know. Somebody knows. I'll never know. I don't know anybody over there. I don't. You know what I mean? But BF did a good live. I think that was Friday when he went down the Top Rank roster, and
Yes,
he was just
he did.
asking,
Yes,
why aren't all of these guys fighting each other? So now Top Rank can
what
get
he
in the
came
bag.
up with was brilliant.
Yeah, that shit was brilliant, man. What he comes up with, I mean, if Bob Arum was working with the Saudis, is there any chance that he can get those motherfuckers on that card to at least fight each other? And what will be the return on that? Instead of everybody worrying about fights that are not going to happen, all these cross promotion shit, because people protecting their investment and shit. Top Rank has some serious in-house shit that they can do. They can do a super card by themselves. Is there any chance the Saudis could throw their name in the hat and say, you know what, let's make those fights? What are the odds of that shit happening?
I mean, the Saudis probably get involved if somebody send that video to him that BF did, because what BF that concept that BF came up with, undefeated versus undefeated, somebody gotta go. He went through every division that the Top Rank got fighters in, from heavyweight all the way down, and they got at least, at the minimum, 2 undefeated fighters in every division. That shit was brilliant what BF came up with. Somebody gotta go. They could do a whole pay-per-view, and I think that pay-per-view will sell big because everybody on that pay-per-view will be undefeated.
That somebody's gotta go shit is fucking incredible. And things is right in front of our face and we don't pay attention because we're sidetracked by a bunch of bullshit. I didn't realize that shit until BF put it on the screen. I was like, wait a minute, that's true. So everybody got work. And that's my point. The Saudis, somebody send a link to send that link to Turk Al-Sheikh. I'm gonna tell Tay to send that link to Turk Al-Sheikh and say, yo,
he's a YouTuber. He's a YouTuber. He be on YouTube.
He's a YouTuber also?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
Who?
He got, I think he got like I want to say like 1.5 million followers. I mean subscribers. He's a YouTuber.
He releases content and everything?
He does content?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He's a YouTuber.
That's a whole other. But he got 1.5 million followers. He don't need that. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's about that much. I think that's what they said. It was like 1.52 subscribers or something like that.
Do you? Oh my God, these guys are just sitting on. His toilet is probably made of platinum. Somebody sent him BF's live stream from the other day and tell him to stick his nose into Top Rank's business and throw a bag at all of those fighters and get that tournament going. Because we get sidetracked by shit. Say again?
I said, yeah, it's a bigger chance of this happening if the Saudis are involved. You know it ain't gonna happen just off of Top Rank's merit.
Yeah, man. And I'm just getting. In the last month, I've been physically drained of wondering what the fuck's happening with Shakur and Tank and all. It's like, bro, Jesus Christ, it's getting dumb about a minute. And I'm, we as consumers, we just want to see the best fight the best. What is the problem with us wanting to see that? Why are these fighters walking around right now in their physical prime? Why are they considered fantasy fights? And everyone's in their prime. Why is it a fantasy? You understand what I'm saying? So why aren't we getting all these guys? Listen, PBC got a roster, Top Rank got a roster. Everyone could work together. We just saw it in Day of Reckoning. We just saw it. What's the date on Fury versus Usyk?
February 17, I think.
It's either the 17th or the 23rd, one of the two.
I think it's 17.
17th?
Yeah.
Okay. That's in Saudi? That's being held in Saudi?
Yup. We got Ring of Fire, I'm calling it.
Who y'all got?
I don't have a pick yet. I still am skeptical what type of shape Fury is in. He does.
Yeah.
I've seen him in the face off. His face did look a little bit thinner, but I need to see the whole physicality and see what his body if he's actually been working, because I think he needs to take Usyk a little bit more serious with regards to his stamina than we seen in that Ngannou fight. So, depending on in the lead up and the training footage I see in the lead up to this fight, I'm not making that prediction. From based off of what I seen from his last form, I'm picking Usyk, but I don't think he's gonna be in that type of form for this fight. So I'm leaning towards Fury just because he's a big man with skills. We seen that Usyk might have a little bit of kryptonite to his body. I thought that Danny Dubois fight, I think he was robbed of a knockout.
I think so.
But officially, Usyk is still undefeated. I still give him major credit because he is really a cruiserweight. That's why he gets considerations on the lower half of my pound-for-pound list. You know what I mean? For being not a real heavyweight, fighting guys that are, you know what I mean, 20, 30, 40 pounds bigger than him. But with that being said, he's showing some weaknesses in his fluidic, beautiful style, right? But yeah, I got Fury. At his prime, I got Fury beating Usyk.
All right.
I don't know. At first, I was leaning heavily towards Fury, but when I seen these last two fights from both these guys, it's a toss-up because both of them look bad. I mean, well, Usyk didn't really look bad, but he looked like he could be hurt he could be hurt to the body. Tyson Fury, he looks like if he don't take you serious, he's not going to take you serious, and he can get outboxed by Usyk. And I mean, we know Usyk can box. We know Usyk ain't scared of nobody outside of Wilder. But I don't know. I slightly edge toward Fury because of his size, but I wouldn't be surprised if Usyk go in there and just outbox him.
Fury's gonna stop him. We shouldn't. Oh, I shouldn't say we shouldn't. I personally don't take how bad he looked against Ngannou, and I think it has nothing to do with Usyk because all of Ngannou's physical advantages, all the things that made him a tough match, besides the fact that maybe Fury did take it lightly, but besides that, Usyk has none of those. Doesn't have the size, doesn't have the physical strength, none of that. I think Fury's going to stop him. I think that weakness to the body too is all that's going to add up to be a stoppage.
I'm picking Usyk because I'm a fucking hater.
Because you told me Fury would win. Now you're switching it.
Yeah. I hate Tyson Fury. I hate everything he represents. And he's a coke sniffing piece of shit. So I'm a fucking hater. So I'm picking Usyk for the win. You see how easy that is, just to be honest? See that? All right, but let me give you a technical aspect about it. I think Usyk has the tools needed to give Fury enough headache that when he gets into the championship rounds, Usyk will start styling on him. And the reason why I say that is because the location of the fight, and Tyson Fury does not have access to those drugs that permits that fat 6'9", 300-pound piece of shit to be bouncing around in round 11 like it's round 1. Okay, he doesn't have access to that shit. The Ngannou fight, which you saw, was you're a WBC heavyweight champion with not a narcotic in his system. That's what that was. That's what that was. And Ngannou's not some sort of master boxer. He's a big man and a big, strong man. But there was no excuse for the heavyweight champion in the world to get dumped on his fucking head in the 3rd round against an MMA fighter. That was not supposed to happen. And salute to Marco. I know he had to go. That shouldn't have happened. And what that was an eye-opener and a reminder of who he is as a person. When he's not on drugs and it's on a fair playing field, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. All right. And I think Usyk, the man knows how to win. Now, I do think that Dubois, we could say it was a robbery. You could say it was a robbery. But Tyson Fury does not have access. He doesn't have Ricky Hatton pulling his gloves down or up or blowing them, whatever they do in the corner over there. He doesn't, he's not going to have access of cycling on and off peds. Usyk, I will say, is just a different animal. He wouldn't take this fight if he didn't feel he could win it. And if he didn't want to fight Tyson Fury, trust me, we're in an era where these guys don't do shit they don't want to do, regardless of what they have and regardless of what's on the line. They don't do shit they don't want to do. I'm telling you right now, they don't. Usyk, one minute he said Deontay Wilder's the easiest of the bunch, and then when the opportunity was there to fight him, we were in Brooklyn looking for him, and he just stopped short in California. He was like, oh shit. I called my man Vasily. I said, Usyk might be coming through, man. Come through, so you might need a translator. He said, oh, okay, let me know if he's here. He never showed up. But he's running into that smoke. He's running into that smoke with Usyk. I mean, with Fury. Fury will not have no pads, no needles in the elbow before fight night, no changing of the referees. That's right, Stormy. No poison water, none of that. You just have a 6'9" moving target who's gonna get fatigued. Right now, this is probably the most serious camp he's ever been in. So he's gonna look physically better. I mean, as physically possible, because he's built like a fucking absolute nightmare. All right. But I think with all things being level, I think that Usyk is gonna beat him like a drum and win the championship rounds, and Usyk will be undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. Just how white America wanted it. And that's just my opinion on things.
I don't doubt that at all. I like I said, I think Usyk can outbox him. But a side note, real quick, I heard y'all talking about Francis Ngannou and AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I have a strange feeling that Francis Ngannou is going to beat AJ. I think he's going to stop AJ because I think AJ can beat Francis Ngannou. The problem that I have with AJ, now AJ's a hell of a fighter. The problem that I have with him is when Francis Ngannou actually catches AJ and he feels that power, he's going to shell up. When we saw that when he got in there with that first Usyk fight, when Usyk caught him with that straight right, he shelled up the rest of that fight. And Francis Ngannou's a bigger puncher than Usyk. And Francis Ngannou can take a shot. We got to remember, he used to fighting with 4-ounce gloves. He's not used to fighting with 10-ounce. He used to fighting with 4-ounce. We saw Tyson Fury hit him with an elbow. He walked through it. So he can take a shot.
I was fucked up.
He could take a shot. And I think he's gonna be willing to take a shot to give a shot. He did it with Tyson Fury. And I think I just got a funny feeling AJ's going to get caught with a shot and he's going to shell up. And that's going to give Francis Ngannou time to let off.
If AJ gets put on the back foot at any point in this fight, how fun, bro. Let me tell you something, man. If AJ loses to Francis Ngannou, he can retire. Just retire, bro. He's not supposed to lose to him. He's really not. But you're right. That equalizer, if Francis puts him on the back foot at any point, it's going to be interesting.
if he gets put on the back foot, Drew, I don't know. He's showing ability to catch and shoot and do that pull counter.
Yeah, but that was with Otto Wilder. Otto Wilder is not a big puncher. Not a big puncher. That's why, and I looked at that fight and I said everybody was saying, "Ooh, AJ looks good." He didn't look like he looked when he fought Jermaine Franklin. Yeah, he was in there with somebody that can't punch. That man can't punch, so he was able to take chances that he normally wouldn't. Because we saw he didn't take no chances with Franklin. Franklin threw them big shots and he shelled up and stayed away. He ain't taking no chances with Franklin.
In the fact to be a low key protector just for the cause of entertainment for AJ. You know what I mean? The boy was going through I wouldn't call it a maturation process, but he was rebuilding after them Usyk, them 2 Usyk fights.
Okay.
Rebuilding, being reprogrammed. Went over to Derek James, you know what I mean, and try to get some. Even before that, who was he with? Was it
Robert?
Robert Garcia. You know what I mean, trying to get new programming and shit, because he short circuited with his original trainer over there in the UK, McCracken. Right, so there comes a probably like you can't be fed the biggest punchers in the division when you're going through a time of rebuilding. You know what I mean? So you get put in smaller level fights to build up your confidence. So we had a Jermaine Franklin. You know what I mean? We had a Robert Helenius. We had, and then capping it off somewhat with Otto Wilder. And let's not act like some of us thought Otto Wilder was going to upset the apple cart in this fight. Because some of us did think that Otto Wilder has a real chance to beat AJ. AJ got problem with southpaws. Otto Wilder, all he got to do is outbox a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Because he's showing a propensity to be a good boxer. We saw what he did to Fury's eye. That arguably could have been a stoppage. Should have been another L on Fury's resume. You know what I mean? So we can't discredit that Otto Wilder went too much. Yes, he wasn't the biggest power puncher, but AJ was on that rebuilding process, and we see kind of the attitude he has now. I think the confidence is at its highest level it's ever been. You know what I mean? Before the Usyk fights, before the Ruiz fights, because he's been looking different. To me, there's been a difference in his style or his mentality since he got dropped a couple times by Klitschko. You know what I mean? The invisibility started to remove. You don't see that guy that sticks out his tongue after he gets you hurt. Because he got wobbled against Dillian White, but he still had that same mentality of he wanted to get you out. You know what I mean? He thought that shit was fun. When he got knocked down by Klitschko and was like doodle leg the whole, you know what I mean, for a good round or two. So
you know what? Here's the thing. I'm picking AJ to win this fight, but if he doesn't, my post fight is going to be special. I'll just say that. My post fight is going to be very, 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 very special. I think I'm going to pick AJ to win the fight. I'm going to pick him by stoppage, like 8 or 9, because he's supposed to win. He's supposed to win. But in the event that he doesn't, my post fight is going to be special, because I'm just going to tell the truth. I ain't going to have to put no salt and pepper on it. Flyboy plays in that super chat salute. You say, what happened to Wilder versus Zhang? You know what you got to do? You got to go to Flyboy, go to Tay Jones' channel. He spoke about that in depth. And that's another Saudi thing, to be honest. My God. Go to Tay Jones' channel. because he spoke about that in depth. I don't want to like comment on that, you know, because Tay covered that perfectly. He covered that perfectly. You know what I mean? So I think AJ's supposed to beat Francis, but you know, if this dude throws one of those lunging wide ass left hooks and lands on the top of this bro head, man, and he's on the back foot, I don't think he'll be confident. This dude scared to death of Deontay Wilder, bro. If y'all heard what man, the phone call, bro, the phone call that I got, what I was told when it happened, I said, you know what, man, I can't listen, man. In the name of my blood pressure, in the name of hypertension, I really got to remove my feelings from this shit. I really do, because as consumers, we're never going to get 100% what we want. That is clear. And some of these guys in the industry, they just flat out fucking with us. They're not fighting each other on purpose. I just hope everyone knows that. So I got to remove my feelings from this shit. Some of these niggas is in on it. It's a gag to them. They get online and watch us curse each other out and scream and threaten to pull out guns on each other because their ass ain't fighting. I'm not participating in none of that shit anymore. I'm not doing it. I know what I know, man. I know what I know. Stormy says, why Mike Tyson didn't tell AJ to stay away from Ngannou? You notice everybody in the industry told AJ to stay away from Deontay? Even now. They told him still, stay away from Deontay. Stay away from Deontay. Stay away. Man, you know what? If anybody is 6'5", 250 pounds of pure muscle, and you scared of some dude that can't box, there's something wrong, big. I said it before, and salute Art Hostage. I said it before, and I'll say it again. AJ could walk into the club with the baddest bitch. D could come from the back of the club to the front and just take that chick, and he won't do a motherfucking thing. That's how scared of Deontay he is. And that is a fact. That is an absolute fact. But I don't want to get too deep into that. I'm going to pick him to beat Ngannou. But I need y'all to understand, if he does not, my post-fight is going to be very special. It's going to be very special. And I might not be able to monetize it. I'm telling you right now, I'm not even going to click the goddamn money symbol. I'm not going to do it. Because I know me. It's ridiculous. But yo, man, this live was super dope, man. I want to thank y'all for pulling up. My brother, Oddfella, Jay Stills. You let them know how they can find you, good brother.
Indeed. I should be, the Beltway should be open. You know what I mean? Later on today, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Supreme Beast Boxing Talk. We will be recapping the weekend's fights. Jaime Munguia, Ryder fight. Eating crow for some of our picks and whatnot, and talking that good boxing. Make sure y'all tap into usualsuspect6.com. We also got the merch, the apparel. You see it on the screen there. Shop usualsuspect6.com. Everything I'm wearing is Usual Suspect 10, you know what I mean? So yeah, go tap into that. You see the Lions, because we LDBC base, you know what I mean? Lions there, boxing community base. So yeah, y'all know what it is. Salute to the chat. You know what I mean? Salute D Free. Salute to Marco. And of course, salute Drew Titan, you know what I mean, for inviting me to the platform once again, having this great cook. You know what I mean? I hope hopefully the chat has been well fed, you know what I mean? Because we had plenty of plates that we were serving up, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is the first of many, bro. You know what I mean? So it's your favorite, get your most hated odd fella. Salute to the usual suspects. Salute to the LDBC. And I'm Gizzo.
Yes, sir. My brother D Free. Let them know how they can find you, good brother.
Man, y'all can find me boxing matchups with D Free. Going live later on tonight, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna be on there with my co-host BBO Boxing, and we're gonna be covering the fights from this past weekend as well. You can also find me on Wednesday, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate you having me up here, Drew. Shout out to my man Marco, my man Fella. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you having me up, and y'all already know.
Y'all make sure y'all go like and subscribe to my family, man. And we here to talk this good boxing talk. You know what I'm saying? Get y'all well fed. I think the general's on. You already know what it is, man. Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Pep talk tonight, but before pep talk, me and Stormy, Nerds on Culture, we'll be talking about the Watchmen. Make sure you tune in. It's gonna be lit. Bronx on deck.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.